Hello beautiful people, Essay here, and today's video is going to be about this crepe maker by Sinbo. Now this crepe maker is supposed to be able to make samosa wrappers, spring roll wrappers, pancakes, crepes, tortillas, etc. I bought this mainly because I wanted to make spring roll and samosa wrappers as often as possible and as fast as possible. I usually used to make them on a pan, but now it's a bit of an improvement and it makes the work a little faster. This is the package that it came in. Seems pretty standard. I've opened it before, but I didn't do much with it. So this is my first time really like unboxing it to see the contents. This is the manual that it came with. So yeah, it just came with the manual in different languages. So put that over there. Yeah, this is the plate that it's used to pour the mix. This is the cord where you plug it in from. And yeah, this is the packaging. Nothing too fancy schmancy. Smooth like a baby's bottom. So to start, you just plug it in and then put it on. Here are the instructions that were given according to the manual. Now I've read these instructions, but I'm going to be doing it in my own way, kind of like just doing whatever works for me, and we'll see as we go along anyway. And the batter I made is just consisting of cornstarch, flour, salt, and water. This is usually what I make when I am making samosa wrappers or spring roll wrappers on a pan. I made it just as loose as I would make it when I'm doing it on a pan. So what I'm doing right now is just spreading it around and just, you can see the consistency. It's just like water. It's very, very loose because I like my wrappers as thin as possible. So I make my batter as loose as possible. It makes the spring rolls come out very crispy and nice. Okay, so now we're going to try it for the first time. Wish me luck. I wasn't sure how I was supposed to hold it. I was just doing whatever. Please ignore me on the screen. Yeah, another mistake I made was using a plastic spatula. Oh no, it was a big mistake. My thought process behind this was like, oh, it's not going to get hot enough since it's just making samosa wrappers. You don't really use that much heat to make them. So I was like, oh, it's not going to get hot enough to burn the plastic. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. So do not use this. Please, if you can, use something that is heat resistant, like a heat resistant silicone spatula or something of that sort. So here I was struggling to get it off because, like I said, the batter was just water, flour, cornstarch, and salt. There was no oil in this. I usually do not put oil in my batter, but with this, because I usually rub oil on the pan when I'm making it with a pan, it kind of compensates for me not using oil. But in this case, that just didn't work. You can't rub oil on the pan because then when you dip the pan into the plate, nothing will stick at all. And you'll have holes if it does stick. So you do want it to stick when you're putting it in, but you want it to come off easily. So you have to put oil in the batter. That's the mistake I made. And I went back and put oil back into this batter and tried again. And it came out so much better the second time. So here is what it looks like. As you can see it cooking, that's what it looks like. Actually, it looks pretty nice if I do say so myself. Now that the oil has been put in it, you can see how easily this comes off. So I say the best way to take it off is just to loosen the sides and then either use your fingers to pick it up if you're confident enough to do that, or just flip it upside down into the plate. Flipping it upside down into the plate is probably the best way to do it. Yeah, and this is what it looks like. Ain't that cute? Oh, it's so cute. Yeah, you can see the holes that are in it. That's because the batter was way too thin. I could get away with that batter on a pan because, again, I could spread out the batter the way I want on the pan, prevent any holes from being there, or use a brush for it, and then cook it. But this one, I can't correct any holes in time, so I had to make a thicker batter, which is what I realized after I was done doing this. So, like I said, you just take it off at the edges. You can either use your finger to pick it up or just flip it upside down and put it onto the pan. Now, because I'm working with a metal spoon, I'm doing this very gently so as not to scratch the pan, because I didn't have a anything silicone or heat resistant to use. You can see the little holes in it, and you can see how thin this batter is. It's so thin. Do you see? You see the holes? Yeah, the batter is so thin. I tried using the device again, but this time I tried a completely different batter. So instead of using the one for spring roll and samosa wrappers, I did one made of eggs, flour, water, sugar, basically a crepe. I made crepe batter to try it again, and this time around it worked so much better, even though it was thicker. It was thicker, but the way it came out was just a whole lot better than the first one. And thank God Almighty, I didn't have those pesky holes. I'm cooking this on both sides. I'm cooking this on both sides because it's a crepe and not a wrapper anymore. So I have to make sure that it's done on both sides. So use the finger. This is the second method I was telling you. Use your finger, put it on the spatula, and drop it on plate. Yeah, you see how it looks? It looks really good. You can see the edges have started to brown up because it's crispy now. It's perfect. And it's not even that thick. Even though it's thicker than the former batter, it's not that thick. You can still use it to wrap spring rolls, as long as you don't burn the edges like I did. I'm just trying to scrape very lightly again, very lightly. I'm being very stingy with my pressure, scraping off the remnants on the surface of the pan. Then after I'm done scraping, I just wash with a sponge only the surface of the pan that actually sticks to the food material am I going to wash. You do not for any reason allow water to touch either the plug or the bottom of the pan. First of all, wash with soap and a sponge, only the surfaces that are in contact with the food. Then next, take a clean, damp kitchen cloth and wipe. You can wipe the handle, wipe everything else. And then finally, wipe it with a dry kitchen cloth just to make sure that the water doesn't stay on it for too long, and then you can leave it out to dry. Now for the accessories, you can wash them in the sink as per usual. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Now a quick recap on troubleshooting. So with the issues that I had in this video, here's what you should and shouldn't do. That will be all, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.